William Frederick Cody, born February 26, 1846, began his life as a simple cattle driver. What he didn't know is that he would grow up to become one of the greatest showmen in history, pushing forward the acting industry into something completely new. Cody was born in Scott County, Iowa, but was raised on the Kansas plains. His father, a prideful abolitionist, was frequently attacked by believers of pro slavery and was saved by Cody on more than one occasion. When Cody was just 11, his father had passed away due to illness, leaving him to work alone. By age 20, Cody had grown to over 6 feet tall. He had developed wavy hair and a goatee, and achieved a reputation among plainsmen as a daring scout and buffalo hunter. Cody had participated in part of the Civil War, in which he was a primary railroad constructor to begin with. Although this brought him little reward, it did provide the opportunity for him to encounter Louisa Frederici, whom he married shortly after. Cody had 4 children with Frederici: Kit, Irma, Arda, and Ora. Sadly, none of these children lived a full life. Irma and Arda lived until ages 35 and 37. However, Kit and Ora unfortunately passed away at ages 5 and 11. During his time serving, he began to gain a reputation as a great buffalo hunter due to him gathering food for the other soldiers. Cody was so proficient in his hunting abilities that he was enlisted into U.S. cavalry quickly. During this time, Cody had partaken in multiple battles with Indian chiefs and had slain multiple such as Tall Bull and Yellow Knife. The public had noticed his advanced hunting skills and had titled him Buffalo Bill. This title inspired many other names, such as the famous football team, the Buffalo Bills.
This provided him with a great public image and granted him many different job offers. He was called to several hunting expeditions with very famous and wealthy individuals, including the Grand Duke Alexis of Russia. Originally, the Duke had only come to North America on a tour to see what life was like. However, on the morning of January 12, 1872, he began his buffalo hunt with Buffalo Bill. Their expedition was documented by Cody, in which he stated the Duke fired 6 shots from his weapon at buffaloes only 20 feet away. Not one of his bullets took effect. Because of Cody's great popularity, he had been invited to visit New York, where his career as a great showman truly began. During Cody's time spent in New York, Cody had learned that although he was only there because of an invitation, he was still the talk of the town. During one evening, he had been brought on a trip to the theater to see a play. Little did he know, this play would be known as Buffalo Bill, the King of the Bordermen, which was completely based off of him. Shortly after he began seeing plays and performances about himself, he was inspired to take up the theater role himself, mostly because the profit would be much greater than actually hunting buffalo. His alignment of actors consisted of Native Americans who had been sent to the reservations, and plainsmen that drove stagecoaches and herded cattle. Although Cody had battled the same Native Americans that he was working with, he treated them kindly and was very appreciative of their hard work in production. At the beginning of his new career, Cody had been the main attraction of the show. However, as time moved on, he invited other legendary figures into the show, such as Native American chief Sitting Bull, the victor of Little Bighorn, and legendary sharpshooter Annie Oakley. Oakley and her husband stayed with the show for over 16 years before retiring. During her time performing, she stole the show. Oakley was the main attraction, performing amazing feats such as shooting directly through playing cards and even shooting cigarettes out of her husband's mouth. Cody's show had played in many different locations across the United States, such as the World Cotton Exposition in New Orleans in 1884 and the World's Columbian Exposition in Chicago in 1889. Because of its wide variety of locations, Cody and certain members of his cast were invited to the Vatican. Other large figures such as Queen Victoria had attended one of Cody's many shows, along with the Prince of Wales, who saw multiple of Cody's performances. Most of his performances involved much of the current state of the world. People enjoyed these shows because it showed exactly what was going on just over the hill. It showed the Americans setting up camp, going on buffalo hunting expeditions, and handling epic battles between the Americans and the natives. During this time period, there were very few traveling shows. Because of this, Cody's performances rapidly gained popularity as time went on and as he performed in more areas. The show even traveled to the most rural of places, such as our hometown Rhinelander, Wisconsin, where he performed at current-day Pioneer Park. As time went on, Buffalo Bill grew older. He eventually ended his show in 1916 at the age of 71. Shortly after, in 1917, Cody passed away while visiting his sister in Denver. His cause of death is suspected to be kidney failure. According to his wife, he wanted to be buried on Lookout Mountain in Colorado because he wanted to overlook the Denver plains. Cody's legacy was one of the first of its kind. Because the theater business was very new, it was extremely popular and allowed him to grow to fame rapidly. He even had hundreds of comic books written about him. Cody set an example for almost every cowboy film out there. Portraying them all is how Cody truly lived. In reality, normal cowboy life would not make much of a show. However, the way Cody lived his life was full of excitement and shows exactly how we view the cowboys today. He was truly a frontier in the history of theater and shaped it into what it is today.